Today, we're going to be doing a build based on one of your lovely comments that I received on a YouTube video recently. Well, kind of. So I got this comment on a video asking if I could do a big castle build, and the answer is no. Listen, I am just not that girl. I am scared of big builds in The Sims. I make tiny little like 30 by 20 lots. I make family homes. I don't make castles. Even when we got the new castle kit and like everybody built a castle, I did not build a castle because I am so scared of big builds in The Sims. I just don't know what to do with them. But I figured I could try to compromise. I will meet you in the middle and I will make a castle inspired tiny home. So I thought we could build on this lot here in Tartosa. I feel like it was kind of giving me castle vibes, like being alone up here on this hill. Like you don't really have neighbors or anything like that. And you could kind of pretend that like these are your vineyards or whatever. So I thought this was a good lot for that. And I will still try to do the whole like little moat thing around the build and all that. I feel like I could do that with the terrain tools, but we are going to be making it a tiny home. I'm going to try to stick within 64 tiles. I think that is going to be my goal for this, but I still do want it to look like a castle. Like I want to have all the little like towers and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try to do something like this and see if I can maybe like make the towers. I feel like these tiles are gonna go so quickly though. We're already at 10 and I only have 64 to use. Okay, so what if I kind of do, I know I'm gonna be like moving this, so like don't even worry about that. Like this is going to be moving. If I did something like this, they might even have to be closer together, honestly. And then something like this on the top. Okay, we've already used 42 tiles. Right. And we only have 64. We might be going to 100. We might be going to 100 because this is not going to work. Hold on. Okay, this is literally 89 tiles. Right. Okay, maybe if we make it like a little bit smaller, like we move it over just a hair. Okay, so this is 61 tiles. If anyone was curious what 61 tiles would look like, this is it. All right, I might be going to small home. We might be going to 100 and see what that'll give us, because like we do need this to be a functional house. And I believe that we're also going to need tiles for whatever this like moat situation is going to look like. I don't even know really how to do that because I've never really done a build like that before. If I go like this, and then maybe if that gets like a stilted foundation, is that how that works? I really don't know. Hold on. Let me actually like go in and do the terrain tools and like actually make where like the water's going to be. And yeah, I think if we make that like a stilted foundation, I think that would work. Okay, let me just like try to fill this with water and see what it looks like. Okay, I think, yeah, that's like kind of the vibe, right? That's kind of the vibe. And then we'll just do the foundation right there. I'm not sure which one yet, but if we just did, yeah, like that works. I think that is kind of what we were going for. And I feel like adding these little decorative fences on the top just make it look even more realistic. Like I feel like from a distance, this actually kind of looks like a castle. And I think we're going to stick with the castle kit for a lot of like the decorative stuff on here. Like I feel like we're going to use like all like the wallpaper and stuff from the castle kit. It just kind of makes sense. Okay, that wallpaper looks pretty good. And then I think we can just do like the tiles on the ceiling. That looks really good. And it's only 93 tiles. We actually have room for 7 more tiles in here. So I guess we might as well use it. Okay, this actually looks pretty good and it's 99 tiles. Unfortunately, we can't use the second floor. It's like literally just full of a platform because I couldn't have like a flooring here on this like third floor, you know what I mean? Like where this is, because it would have counted as too many tiles. So our only functional space is going to be this first floor in here. So we're going to have to fit like all of the things in here, like our kitchen, our bedroom, bathroom, all that kind of stuff. All has to go in here. We could potentially also do like a little outdoor space. I don't think that would count as tiles, right? No, this doesn't count. So maybe we could do a little outdoor space like this. And then what if we even also do like little stairs up to like this top part and make that like a functional Like, it would technically be outdoors, but it wouldn't count as tiles. So we can do something like that. And then I guess we need to extend these tiles out to here. Obviously, we're gonna like smooth out all this terrain and everything, but at least this way we'll have a little bit of like a functional outdoor space. So we'll probably have to do like our dining area or something out here, or like a living space, because we're just not gonna have room for everything on the interior. Okay, let me go ahead and filter by Castle Estate again, just so we can get like our doors and stuff like that in. We'll go ahead and get a door. We'll also go ahead and put some windows in. Can I put windows in here? Yeah, even though technically like it's all just filled with platform, I can still put windows in. So that's actually really, really nice. Okay, the difficult part is though, we're on rounded walls. So obviously like nothing wants to place properly. So we're probably gonna have to go in with these like teeny tiny ones because they're the only ones that are really like placing nicely on the rounded walls. So I guess we're just gonna go in with like a bunch of these windows. I'm really not concerned about the price of this build at all, pretty much. Like I'm not gonna do any sort of budget or anything. So whatever we spend, we spend. Okay, and then I think for our floor plan, I'm probably just gonna like close these off, honestly. Oh, okay, maybe not, because I don't know what on earth this is that's popping into the ground. So change my mind. Not closing that off like that. Maybe if I close it, no. No. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Round rooms are gonna be the death of me. I swear they're gonna be the death of me. Okay, so what if we only close this one off? This can be the bathroom, and then everything else can be open concept. So I was gonna make it like bedroom, bathroom, and then like our main living space was going to be in here. That's obviously not the plan anymore. So we'll just do bathroom in one of like the little circles. And then everything else will be living room, bedroom, dining room, whatever, all in one. Okay, let me put some light in here because I cannot see a thing. But I think we're going to do that. And then I think for the bathroom, we can probably just keep the same tile we have on the outside. I think that's fine. And we'll just do like a different tile wall. Like, honestly, I feel like that one looks fine. I think we have like a really like dark, earthy, like brown vibe going on in here, which is totally fine. I think I'm going to do like a big bathtub kind of like in this little rounded area. I think that would look nice. Maybe one of the ones from Adventure Waits, I feel like is kind of the vibe, honestly. And I think we can probably get away with just doing a bathtub and not having a shower. I don't think we really need one. So let's see if we could just do that. We'll put our toilet over here, and then maybe we can get like a little toilet paper on the wall. It is so difficult trying to get stuff to go on like rounded walls, but as long as it's a pretty small item like the toilet paper, you honestly can't really tell. It's like when you have a big like picture that it really starts to be a problem. Okay, we'll go ahead and get like a little vanity in here. I feel like everything else is like silver metal, so I don't want to have like gold metal on just the vanity, so I'll have to find one that's also silver. But it's like all of the stuff that has like brown swatches has the gold. Like, what is going on? Why can't anything match in this game? Okay, you know what? This one has silver and it's a brown vanity. We are just gonna go with it, and then it is gonna look a little silly being kind of off the wall. Oh, and you know what? The mirror is also gonna look a little silly, but again, I'm just gonna try to find like a small-ish one, because then you can't like super tell that it's off the wall. I don't know. You know what? That one is probably fine. And then I can just go ahead and do like some rugs and some decorative stuff in here. It is a castle, so we do want it to look nice. Even though it's a tiny castle, it's still a castle. So we'll go in with like a fancy rug. Maybe I can get like some plants around here, and maybe I can even swap out the lighting for like some candles. I feel like that gives it like castle vibes. This definitely might be one of the most rich looking bathrooms I have ever done in The Sims. Like, look how fancy it is looking in here. I honestly don't think I've ever used this towel thing from Get Famous, but I felt like it just fit so well. And then I think I'm just gonna do like one more little candle on this table here. Like maybe these ones with the little flower or something. And then I think that is gonna be the bathroom done. And then I guess we don't even have like another room. We're just going to do like this whole space, but I think I might start with the bedroom in this little corner. I actually just used this bed from Life and Death in one of my more recent builds, but I feel like it really fits the vibe. I feel like I'm going for a lot of like browns, wood tones, but also like little hints of red. So I feel like this is perfect. I guess I'm going for like a single princess lives here or something like that. I feel like that's kind of the vibe. Obviously, we got to put some curtains up. You know, you have to have your privacy, even if you live in a studio apartment of a castle. Okay, so I'm almost kind of liking the idea of her being like a writer or an artist or something. I put the little notebook next to her bed, and then I also made this little area over here with like a typewriter. I kind of love the idea of like a princess in her little castle, just like working on her art and her writing and all of that kind of stuff, just like waiting for true love or whatever you want to say. So I think I like this little space over here. And then with the rest of this space, I do need to fit in a kitchen and maybe like a little sitting area or like a dining table. We'll see. Okay, but let me start with my kitchen. I almost kind of want to use the Enchanted by Nature cabinets. I don't know. I kind of just want something more like whimsical and artsy almost. I could also, I guess, use the Realm of Magic ones, but I think I might like the Enchanted by Nature ones a little bit better. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I also am not crazy about how this is going to like clip with this window here, but I like having that window there. I don't know what to do. Let me just figure out like what pieces I need for my kitchen first. So I definitely want to go ahead and do this refrigerator. I just feel like it's nice and small. I feel like it doesn't take up a ton of space. So it looks like you could technically get into that door over there. I don't know. Let me just kind of like squeeze everything a little bit, just to give you like a little bit more room. Okay, that looks a little more comfortable. And then in terms of the stove, I'm actually not crazy about the one that comes with cottage living, but I suppose it could work if we maybe just kind of like squeeze it in there. Oh, maybe in like that yellow swatch, I kind of like a little bit better. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, what if I put an end counterpiece here just so we don't have any of that like clipping going on with the window? And then I just need somewhere for my sink to go. I guess if we have the sink here, I never remember if they can use like the end counters to cook on. I want to say that they can, but just in case they can't, maybe we should do like a teeny tiny little island. Like if we do something kind of like this, I feel like maybe that could work. I almost feel like maybe we should do it in like a different swatch or something just to kind of like break up whatever's happening in here. What if we do this darker? Or actually, wait, what if we keep those lighter and then make everything else darker, like the other counters? I don't know. It looks okay, I guess. And then I feel like they're definitely going to be able to at least cook on here. And actually, that even gives us room to do a little like small appliance on there. I'm not sure which one I would want. Probably like a kettle so that they could do like tea and stuff like that. And then let me go ahead and do upper cabinets because I feel like that'll kind of like tie it all together. Okay, I mean, that's kind of cute. I do feel like it does need a different like backsplash. I feel like this wallpaper doesn't really go with it. So maybe we can find like a different tile. What would it look like if we did the tile that's also in the bathroom? No, actually don't like that at all. I feel like the tile needs to go up higher. Like it needs to be like the whole wall, but I want it to be something a little more intricate almost. Like, can I do just that? I don't know. It looks like a little boring. Okay, maybe the one with trim is a little bit better because it just kind of like continues that trim up on the top. I guess we're gonna do that, but I would like to put like a few more maybe like decorations in or something. I just want it to look like a little more like cluttered and lived in and all that kind of stuff. I could put like a pot on the stove. I think they don't ever use like the back burners. I think they only use the front burners. So I'm pretty sure if I put that on there, it should still be functional. Ooh, we could do a little tea set, but I feel like if I'm going to do a tea set, I probably want to do like one of the actual ones, like one of the functional ones so that they can actually have tea. You know what? Maybe I'll save this. I don't know if it needs to go on a counter. No, it doesn't. It can go on a table. And I kind of would like to do this on maybe like one of our little outdoor tables so that we can do like tea outside. Let me save that for later. Ooh, maybe we can do this little like corner shelf over here in the corner. It just has some knickknacks on it. I really love that one. We can definitely include that. And then we also do need some seating. So I'm probably going to have to do some bar stools over here. These new ones from Adventure Awaits actually kind of tie in a little bit of the red that we're trying to use, so maybe we can use those on there. But then the rest of this room does look a little bit empty. I feel like one, we definitely need to get like a rug in here or something like that, and then maybe we can get like a little tiny couch or like living chair or something. think I'm going to go for that darker swatch on the rug. I feel like that looks a little bit better. And then maybe we just get like a little like two-seater couch or something just to have something else in this corner. Let's maybe go with that one. I also realized we do not have like a bookshelf in here. And if she's going to be a writer, we're definitely going to need to have a bookshelf of some sort so she can do some reading as well. This one's actually kind of nice. I do like this. And I feel like I haven't used this one a lot yet since we got it. Let me see if it comes in any like other swatches that I'm liking. Ooh, okay, I like that one. Let's do that. And then what else can we put in here just to make it look like a little more lived in? Maybe like some curtains on these windows. I don't know why, but I've like really been in my base game curtain era. I've been using these in a ton of builds. I posted a video like 2 weeks ago that used these curtains also, and I just absolutely loved it. I was like obsessed with that build. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use those curtains again. They just look like very lived in. I like them a lot. And then I think I'm also gonna go around and put some more candles up in places, like maybe get some candles up on the wall so that we can get rid of these super subtle saucers because they are just not realistic in this build. So like, let me go ahead and put a bunch of these up on the wall and then we won't need that super subtle saucer anymore. Okay, I actually underestimated how much that super subtle saucer was doing. Maybe we can get like some candles that hang from the ceiling, like a little like chandelier or something like that, because I do want this house to be candlelit, but it's a little too dark in here. Oh, okay, this is the one I was looking for, the one from Jungle Adventure. I feel like if we put it like maybe over here, it just kind of brightens up the space a little bit more. I do like that it's a little dark and moody, but it was just a little like too dark and moody. I feel like this is better. And then I feel like all it needs is like a couple of plants and then we'll probably be good with the interior. Okay, just a few little plants later, no big deal, but I think we are done with the interior and ready to focus on the outside of our castle. So I think my vision for out here is definitely to have like a little sitting space down on this bottom patio. Like I said, we brought the little tea set out, and then up here I did put a little easel out here because I feel like we'd be able to do some painting and just kind of like some sitting and reflection and like stuff that you do when you live alone in your one-person castle. Maybe we can use this like floral bench here or something. I don't really use this one very often, the one from Enchanted by Nature, but I feel like maybe this could be a good place to do it. We can go ahead and put this bench up here. Oh, or actually we also have this one from Life and Death, and I feel like this one kind of fits like the vibes of the castle, you know what I mean? Maybe we could do something a little bit more like this instead. Yeah, I feel like that one looks good. Let me actually maybe get another one of these as well. We can have two up here just for sitting and things like that. And then we'll have her little like painting area as well. Maybe I can get her some other like painter stuff from the artist studio kit. Like we have this little stool here. I always think that looks nice because like your sim can like sit on it while they're painting and whatever. I can even like have this little shelf out here with a bunch of like painting supplies and books and things like that. And then maybe just like we have some like miscellaneous like brushes and things like that. Like we can just have like her whole little painting setup out here. Maybe it's even like spilled out onto the benches and stuff like that because like nobody's coming over, you know, like she's living alone in this castle. So she's got like her whole setup over here. I'll even put like some little paint splatters on the floor so you can tell that she's been hard at work. Okay, so that can be that area up there. Oh, I think we should also probably include some lighting so that she can go ahead and paint when it's dark outside too. I guess we can put these like up on these parts of the wall over here. How does that look in the nighttime? Oh, that lights it up really, really nicely. Maybe we should get some of them down here too, just in case she wants to be outside. And we can put them on the front of the castle as well, just to kind of like light it up. If anyone is for some reason coming over like at night or anything, we can go ahead and light it up like that. And then we'll go ahead and put a little bit of stuff down here where we're gonna have our little tea set and everything. And then all that's left to do is landscape. Okay, so we can have our little table set up for tea, maybe over here somewhere, or maybe we set it up like this way so that when you're having tea, you're like looking out at the water and stuff like that. And then maybe along here, I'm thinking that we could do like a couple of garden planters because she had a lot of plants inside. So maybe she's into like gardening and things like that. So we can go ahead and get our garden planters all set up. And then I think we need to do like a lot of landscaping around here. I think we can start by kind of like smoothing out this terrain a little bit because it just looks like kind of crazy. Okay, so we kind of like smoothed out a little bit of the terrain. I also need to decide which kind of water that we want to put in here. I feel like this water looks like a little too blue, like it looks like swimming water, whereas I feel like something like this might look a little more like what we're looking for. Or honestly, we could even do one of the ones that like has a little bit of like stuff in it. Oh, like I feel like this one with like, what is that, like moss on it? That may actually kind of fit the vibe of what we want to do because we want to put like a lot of like trees and everything around here. And then I'm also going to go in with my terrain paint and I'm kind of just going to make like a bunch of dirt on all of like this exposed terrain over here because I'm pretty much going to cover it all with plants anyway. And then I'm also wondering if like in addition to having the moat and all that, like I feel like we need maybe like a fence around everything, like kind of like a castle wall. I feel like the original comment suggested that as well. So which of these is like good castle wall material? Like, do we like this one? I kind of do like that. Okay, let me figure out like what our perimeter needs to be. I'm thinking maybe something kind of along these lines. I don't want it to be like going under the water like that though. So I am going to have to use my terrain tools again and kind of like flatten some of this terrain a little bit just to get the fence back up. Okay, this might be a little bit better. And now we kind of just need to go in and like cover all of these funky looking areas with like trees and bushes and all that kind of stuff and just kind of like hide whatever it is that's going on. It looks like the area around us all has one like very particular type of tree that is just like literally everywhere. So I am going to have to go into the debug catalog to get that specific tree out. So to do that, I'm typing in two separate sheets, bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects. And this is going to open up another layer of build mode that unlocks a lot of really cool stuff. So now if I search up debug over here, I'm going to unlock all of the items that are like in the world or that your Sims are using that aren't typically available in build mode. And then since we're building in Tartosa, which is the world that comes with my wedding stories, if we filter by my wedding stories, now I've unlocked all the items that you see as like set dressing around the world, including all of the plants. So that is how we're going to find like this tree that is all over the place in this world. And I am going to pick out a ton of these trees. I'm pretty much going to put them like all over our lot because that's kind of how they are in the world. And we have a lot of space to cover up. So I am going to pull out a ton of these. Okay, so this looks like a pretty good start. And then if I scroll through, I can find even more landscaping stuff that we have around here. So like all of these rocks, these are huge, but I can size them down using shift and the bracket keys. So if I wanted to use these, because like these rocks are going like all the way up and down the side of this mountain over here, I could like put one of these rocks in and then maybe move some of my trees around. Okay, wait, this one actually sizes down a little bit better. That one was still a little bit too big, but this one sizes down to kind of like a reasonable size, I feel like. So maybe I'll use a couple of these ones. I'm also going to go in with a little more terrain paint on like pretty much the softest setting that I can and kind of just like click around the entire lot to add a little bit of dirt like under where all of our plants are, under where the fence is and all of that kind of stuff. It just kind of helps look a little more realistic. And then I also see some of these like lavender flowers all over the place, and we actually do have those in build mode. So I'm going to go in with a couple more of those also just to kind of like fill up space, especially when you have ponds. It's kind of nice to have like a nice big leafy plant to kind of like fill in space with. I always feel like it kind of helps it look a little bit more realistic to have stuff like that. So I kind of go crazy with the plants when I use the pond tool. Okay, I just went in with a few more little plants and put a little bit of ivy up on the walls, but this is our final castle build. So this is our 99 tile little one person castle for a princess surrounded by the moat and all of that kind of stuff. The only thing that I didn't add in yet was like the pond effects. So if you wanted to, you could add in, you know, like an alligator in here to be swimming around and little fish and ducks and bugs and stuff. The only thing is like in build mode, it makes it look kind of crazy because they just look like these little squares on the ground. But then once you go into live mode, you actually actually just see like the fish swimming around and the bugs swimming around, and this little thing disappears. So I usually don't throw these in until like at the very, very end. But just so you kind of like see how they work, you just put them in build mode. And then once you go into live mode, you won't see any of those little squares or anything in the water. Okay, let's just take one more final look at the inside of our build. So this is our interior. We have our little bathroom. Oh, see, it's always good to look at your interior after you do the exterior and the landscaping, because sometimes you do get a little clipping from the plants. Okay, we had a little lavender in the bathroom, but it is gone. Let me scooch this stuff out from the bedroom as well. I'm glad I did this before I went ahead and put this on the gallery, because you guys would have been like, what on earth is this build? Okay, let's get rid of those. Okay, that looks a lot better. So we have our little bedroom. We have our super cozy little living space in here with our typewriter and our kitchen. I think this build turned out super, super cute. It is full of plants and greenery, and it's just such a nice place to have a sim just be artsy, work on their art, work on their writing, and all that fun stuff. And it looks super cozy at nighttime too. It's like all lit up. The castle looks so beautiful in the nighttime. So yeah, I think this was a super, super cute build. Of course, it will go up on the gallery if you'd like to download it and put it in your own game. I just went ahead and uploaded it, so it is on my gallery. My gallery ID is simmingshannon00, and it's actually only like 50,000 simoleons, which I feel like is not that bad for a castle. It does use quite a bit of packs, but even if you don't have all of them, you can still go ahead and download it. You may just be missing a couple items, or the game will just try to replace them. But if you're looking for a little castle for one, this is definitely the place. I think it turned out super, super cute. But that is going to be it for today's video, you guys. If you have any other build suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments, and I will try to do something like them. It wasn't big, but it was a castle. It had the moat and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that this satisfied your request. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you never miss a video, and if you want to see more of my face all the time, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Those are both simmingshannon. And just a reminder that if you do want to help support me and my content, one of the best ways to do so is by using my code simmingshannon at checkout on the EA app. Thank you so much to everyone who's been using my code. I really, really appreciate it. It helps out a ton. But that is going to be it for me today, you guys. I hope you have a slay-tastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.